ドライドがね。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだと大きにまたグレートになるかな。さ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドライドがね。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだと大きにまたグレートになるかな。さ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドライドがね。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだと大きにまたグレートになるかな。さ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドライドがね。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだと大きにまたグレートになるかな。さ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドライドがね。
Welcome to Liberty Tonight, the only pro-liberty late-night variety show. Hosted by Brian Piotr and starring King Libertarian. Special guests, hilarious commentary, skits, gags, and more fun are just ahead. And here's Brian.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Brian Piotr, and this is Liberty Tonight. We're so happy to have you here. We got a huge show, plenty of exciting news. If you want to know how you're supposed to feel, I believe you just look at the stock market, and if it's going up, you feel happy, and if it's going down, you feel sad. I don't know why everybody seems to be doing that. It doesn't really affect my life. I don't own any stocks. I'm not a boomer. I'm not rich, so it don't really matter. Now, is Trump a genius and he's playing 5D chess, or is he an idiot and just doing things to wreck the economy? Tell us in the chat at rumble.com/libertytonight. That is where I will be interacting with you at all times this evening. Welcome, each and every one of you. Buck Nasty, nice to see you. Fiery Waco, love you. Bruiser55, we wouldn't be doing this without you guys. I hope. I don't know. I might still talk into the ether. I don't know if the king would, but speaking of him, our sovereign, the man who knows what liberty means and knows that democracy is a terrible, terrible invention. The man who leads us all and tells us what to believe so that we might know what freedom is. The king of all libertarians. He has a speech written for you. Get ready to be brainwashed by the king.
Hear ye, I'm King Libertarian, benevolent dictator of libertarianism, slayer of status, hater of bureaucrats, lover of Doge, and all-around badass monarch. Now silence, peasants, your king is speaking. The terrible and terrific Trump tariffs trounced TDSers and titillate Trump Trekkies. The stock market went down on word of the war, and many rushed to cash out their 401ks, fearing Trump was intentionally trying to crash the economy. Little did they know, Trump is a benevolent egomaniac, a good narcissist, someone so full of himself that he is obsessed with being remembered as one of the greatest presidents of all time. Trump announced to buy now, 3 hours before he paused tariffs and cornered China. The stock market gained big, racing losses and hitting recovery numbers not seen in decades. It's almost as if making life-changing financial decisions based on pure emotion is a bad idea. From chemtrails to JFK assassination files to the real cause of autism, conspiracy theory is going mainstream. On top of that, Alex Jones is fit and is no longer a tub of lard. What's happening to this movement? Are we losing our weird? What's next? David Icke is going to start brushing his teeth all of a sudden? Thank you. 55% of leftists are in favor of using assassination as a political weapon. They claim it's self-defense to protect their lives. Ironically enough, they also believe in climate change. If you believe killing saves lives, why haven't you jumped off yet? All in all, my sweet, sweet dear peasants, you look upon me as a leader, someone who is on the same level as Trump. It is my duty to gaze down upon you from high and deliver my point of view to you. And my advice is the same as Trump's. Don't be a pannican. The king has spoken. Now back to Squire Brian.
And we're back with Liberty Tonight. You bring up a good point, King. I believe that if you want to be carbon neutral, the only way for you to do that is to go grab a piece of lead or rock and go out into the ocean and jump off into the ocean holding onto that weight. Go all the way to the very bottom. Sequester your carbon to the bottom of the depths, the sea. That is really the only logical solution for anyone who really believes that carbon has anything to do with global warming or that we care. Anyways, that's...
Herein lies the problem, because as soon as they lift a weight, there is a squeak of testosterone that will glandularly eject into their body, and from that point on, they're on the road to no longer being a leftist. So maybe we can cure it through jumping off.
Yes, I do believe that a good night's sleep, working out at the gym, eating some steak will cure global warming hysteria. This is the cure for global warming hysteria. Anyways, what do we got planned for the night? What's the goal to raise for the evening, King?
Yes. So everybody in the chat, everybody watching, hear closely. We have a challenge for you this evening. If we are to raise a certain amount of Rumble Rants, or we will calculate in subscriptions, paid subscriptions, and of the like, not this weekend, but next weekend, I am going to do my first Man on the Street segment for the Liberty Tonight Show. I live on the Gulf of America. I will bathe beautifully. I will swim gloriously. I will wade fantastically into the new body of water that Trump has gifted us. And if we raise $50 tonight in Rumble Rants and such of the like, I will, while I'm out there interviewing people, chug methylene blue and conduct interviews with a blue mouth. So, if you would like to see me in public with a blue mouth talking to people at the beach, let's see this happen. All right, that's the challenge for my peasants.
Methylene blue is really good for you. We need it in the forlibertyshop.com. We need some for Liberty blue. Meth.
That's right.
Meth for methyl blue. I can't speak. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, the other update for everyone before we get going, and we're doing some housekeeping. We have next week is going to be off because I am moving. I will not have internet, and I will be moving homes, moving to Louisville, Kentucky, to fight the man, to fight the land of the turtle, the land of Mitch McConnell, where I will go take freedom and make it the land of Massey and Rand Paul. That is the goal, everybody.
Woo!
So please rewatch some old shows on Thursday night at 10 p.m. next week. We'll try to tell you again because I know that I'll forget. But I appreciate your understanding. And if anyone wants to help me move and make a friend, you could definitely do that. Just let me know. We can hook you up to helping me move.
Well, helping my peasants. That's what you're good at. Manual labor.
You know, I got nothing against Mormons, but I almost feels like they're kryptonite, that if you ask them to help you move, they like have to say yes.
Well, there's a million of them. I might as well.
It's this thing.
Like
it's
mice over
this
there.
thing. They're super nice people, and they are super duper nice people. And they'll help you move.
And they love lemonade. And if you paid those Mormons in lemonade to move your house, they would gladly do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, the sugar diseases, cavities, diabetes, they're all very, very high in Utah. They're not allowed to drink or have soda or do anything fun other than sugar, so they go crazy with sugar. You got nonstop pure sugar.
It's the only stimulant they're allowed to have.
Yeah. If you're down to one vice, well, that vice is a nasty master. Man, sugar is a drug. Hell of a drug.
Are we tariffing sugar? Is sugar on the chopping block?
Well, hey, we have some exclusive footage sent to us by a viewer of Donald Trump and President Xi of China fighting it out over tariffs. Take a watch. This is what's been going on.
Let's go, America. Get his ass.
Which one's Trump?
The non-Chinese one and the American black man.
But the Chinese one's got the Trump hair.
What is this league though? They're like, it's like kickboxing, MMA, something. But I'm loving this. Where can I get in on this action? Move aside, what's his name, the UFC guy.
Yeah, women will never understand that all men need is this, Bang energy drinks, probably
Bacon.
an Alp pouch and some bacon.
Absolutely.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's what's going on right now, metaphorically speaking.
yeah, come tell us in the chat what you need if you're a man. What are the minimum requirements?
Physical violence, bacon, caffeine.
Normal bacon's got a ton of nitrates in it, and puts nitric oxide into your blood. You know what is a nitric oxide inhibitor? Methylene blue.
What's that? Oh, so you have to pair the bacon with the blue.
Yeah.
All right.
First you eat the bacon. Then you take the methylene blue to take the nitrous oxide back out of your blood.
Is that why I've been craving bacon? If anyone follows me on X, I am on a bacon saga right now. And anytime I mention bacon on X, it's quite popular. I can post a very well thought out philosophical endeavor. Yes, Buck Nasty, $10. All right, $40 more. I will do man on the street with a blue mouth. I will chug methylene blue on camera in front of strangers at the beach.
Oh man. Okay, so Bruiser 55, black coffee. I love black coffee. Like I would turn my teeth black before I stopped drinking coffee. I love coffee so much. Like that is the best thing that ever happened to me. I heard something so horrible. It's like an RFK Jr. moment. Gosh, by the way, RFK Jr. is coming on the show later this evening. We got some questions. Put them in the chat. What you want to ask RFK Jr. I learned something crazy though. There's a neurotoxin in coffee molds that's fairly common. In Asia and Europe, they test for it at a certain level. And if it's above a certain level, you're not allowed to import it into Japan, China, Europe. America doesn't have this law. So what does that mean? If a batch fails somewhere, where do they send it? Here.
Those Americans will take it.
Why do we always have the worst things happen to us? So
because we allow it, like Trump says.
So like if you're
allowed to be bullied,
you're in Colombia and you're farming coffee and you left it out on a wet tarp too long and now it's moldy, you can't sell it to Europe anymore. It can only go to America. So that's what we get.
It's like the fluoride of coffee.
That's
just
what we get.
dump it in their water supply.
And so it's really, you can buy coffee that's called mold-free coffee. And it's good to get really high quality brands, single source brands like we have at FordLibertyShop.com.
That's right.
I'm not claiming that they're mold free because I don't have a clue if they are or not. I just found this out. They might be. They could be. I don't know.
I hope they
so.
are.
I hope they are. I'm expecting that it's the cheap coffee that probably is, like Folgers, just burn it all, put it in the box. Anyways, I'm alive. I've been drinking a lot of coffee in my life. It seems to be working out okay for me. But maybe I have some neurotoxins in my head.
It sounds like it.
It sounds like it. Oh man. So Z can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. America is the #1 economy on earth.
We must hear from the O'Leary.
We're employing everybody in China.
China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that
I
look
want
like?
Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariff.
Okay, so let
What's
me.
your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, here are my thoughts. In college, no one judge me, but I I lived with Chinese roommates from China. They were transfer students.
Is that where Chinese are from?
Yeah, like there are American Chinese too, and this is not who I lived with. They're crazy people, really cool guys, but like there's some super big different cultural differences here. Here's what they shipped to America was cigarettes because they were unfiltered, and they liked their nice, tough cigarettes completely unfiltered. And what they shipped back to China was baby formula. They would go to the store and fill up boxes of baby formula to send it back because they can't trust the formula on the shelves in China because it's fake, laden with heavy metals, gonna kill your baby. They seriously they don't trust the food to feed their own babies in their own country. Like, and what do they ship here? What do they ship here? Unfiltered cigarettes. The one thing you want from China is the thing that
and moldy coffee apparently.
I don't think there's any coffee coming from China, but unfiltered cigarettes, because they just suck when they're filtered here in America. Give me the nice.
Yeah.
They come in a red packet, like the Red Chinese Communist Party, and then they're like death sticks. So
burn your lungs for Xi Jinping.
Yeah, and the other thing is
eat lung cancer for Mao Zedong.
Like I wasn't a super healthy eater in college because I was an American man, but they looked at me as unhealthy for taking anything out of the refrigerator, which they would put nothing in. Like no food goes in the refrigerator because it needs to be fresh. Every single day they would go to the market to get fresh food and then eat it that day and do the same thing the next day. They would never store it in the refrigerators. Leftovers are like anti-feng shui or whatever. And I mean that. That's real. That's like totally that's what their deal is.
Anti-feng shui.
And then
leftovers.
Like they judge me for doing anything with a refrigerator, but they had a rice pot that they would like get as much as they could out of. That's the end of cleaning that. Tomorrow when they cook rice, it'll boil off, whatever. Like that was never cleaned with soap the whole year and a half that I lived with them. The rice cooker was used every day, then scraped whatever came out, and then the next day again.
But don't use refrigerator.
But
weak man.
I'm not judging them for like the whole country because maybe they're just gross college guys. Just like I was a gross college guy. But it's funny how our different cultural like we had some serious differences. Also, when they washed the floor, they took the mop and put it in the toilet, and then washed the floor with the toilet water, and then rinsed off the mop in the toilet. And they're like, "This is totally normal." Like, no, this is not normal.
Right.
This is not normal. This isn't.
I already don't like them even more.
This isn't how we do things over here in America. We use a bucket with soap.
Yeah.
So
well, what do you think about this? So we're gonna have top 10. It's gonna be top 10 fallouts from Trump's tariff wins over China. But in wrapping this up, Brian, just in chat, let us know because this tariff thing is the whole kit and caboodle right now. I gave my thoughts in my King's speech. I think it's brilliant. What do you think as a libertarian, as an anarcho-capitalist? Philosophically, there's one way, but there's pragmatically another. What's your summation here?
I'm mostly concerned about the future state of ending up with both tariffs and an income tax.
Correct.
That is what I expect will happen. So next administration, the administration after that, we're going to end up with tariffs and an income tax. And I think that sucks. And that I'm all for the negotiations that Trump's doing, and it seems to be getting really rapid results, and it's kind of fun. But if he leaves this open as we're going to do tariffs and then not touch my income tax, what passed the House today for the House bill, which hasn't been reconciled and voted on yet, is not passed by the Senate, doesn't really change the tax code at all. So it basically leaves taxes exactly the same as they have been for the last 8 years. So that sucks if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do tariffs and everything we import is going to cost more, and I'm going to pay the same income tax as I have been paying the last 8 years. Can I have one, not the other? I'm all for tariffs over income tax. Let's do a 25% income tax or tariff or whatever, and no income tax, no filing, no IRS.
I think we'll get there.
Please.
I have faith that Duke Trump will achieve this goal. How much has been done in just a couple of months? I have faith that that's the way it's going to be, because that's the reality I want to live in, baby. No income tax, make the others pay, and doge everything that we don't need.
All right, me too. But before we go on to the next headline, let's stop and do the top 10.
Liberty Tonight. Top 10 list.
King, you're up.
All righty, top 10 fallouts from Trump's tariff wins over China. Number 10, tariff revenue will fund free MAGA hats for all Americans. Yay.
Oh man,
Your Trump hat is on the way.
I want a Trump 48 hat.
Yeah, socialize those hats.
You guys get that? I want to be president number 48 too. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
We're already at 47.
47, 48.
Yeah,
Keep
I
it going.
I don't think that
Vice
actually
President
works.
Trump, and then JD, he wasn't into it anymore. All right, what's number 9?
Number 9, China's revenge flops as tariff twerking trend sweeps TikTok.
We've taken over TikTok with the twerking tariff. You know how these kids do. All right.
I do not.
Top 10 fallouts from Trump's tariff win over China. Number 8. Trump's middle finger to China is so large it could be seen from a SpaceX rocket. Whoa. Get him, Trump. Get him, Elon. Get him, Elon. You beautiful genius idea haver, you, Brian.
You genius. You genius. Number 7, China's responses with, I think you,
Responds.
China
I'm illiterate.
China responds with the only leverage they have, a soy sauce blockade.
No soy sauce for you. All right, number 6, China's shipping delays mean your cousin's Etsy store is suddenly thriving. Oh man, yeah, he's Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, eBay. That kid is crushing it now.
Dude, I think none of us needed the cheap crap from China, but I have a feeling that Temu, you know what, like in the Jurassic Park movie where it says life always finds a way?
Yeah.
Temu products will always find a way. So they may have to go to Vietnam and then Canada, but they'll make it here.
It's like a VPN, but for Chinese goods.
Yeah, dude. The original VPN. The boat says we came from Vietnam. What are you talking about?
I wrote it in paint just
Look,
now.
here's the paper. It says Vietnam right here on the top. This is where all this stuff came from. This is
says
the problem.
in Chinese.
This is the problem with tariffs, guys. Is you have
People
to make
cheat.
somebody a snoop on where things came from all around the world. Like they can't just go on a plane to Russia and then Uzbekistan and then Malawi and then here. Like you can always play this
We
game
need
with tariffs.
an Apple iTag on everything.
Yeah, I mean, people like Apple may not lie, like they're not gonna cheat, but you know, Temu don't care. You know, the 100,000 people working at putting Temu products on Amazon, they're like, oh, there's just another obstacle I have to overcome. Done. They'll do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5. Walmart slogan changes from rollback to redneck treasure chest.
Yeah, those 50-cent trinkets just got a lot more expensive.
Mhm.
All right, top 10 fallouts from Trump's tariff win over China. Number 4, Winnie the Pooh relaunch features Xi as the main character. Ooh, he does not like that.
For
I
those
guess
of
he
you
won't
who
be
don't know,
importing that movie.
President Xi looks like Winnie the Pooh, and He's gone so far as to outlaw the use of the image of Winnie the Pooh in China. You cannot draw Winnie the Pooh. You cannot have a picture on your phone of Winnie the Pooh. Boy, you will be disappeared. And China doesn't do this thing if you go to prison and then you come back to society. It's just like, you gone. He went to prison. Where? Can we see him? Nope.
Yeah, it's kind of sad when North Korea is like, even we released them after a while. Jesus. But they don't have 1.5 billion people to work with. They got to keep every person they got. The rest of them starved to death.
Dude, they could kill 1 million people every couple years, and we would have no idea.
No,
like absolutely no clue. Like, sure, what can you see from satellites? Oh, they've got a prison here. What happens in that prison? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, dude, they could
guaranteed it happens.
Definitely, if you're a troublemaker, you disappear. That's what happens in China. Number 3, China is using its massive drone fleet to hunt down bald eagles back into extinction.
No.
Not
the eagle. Keep your drones away from our mystical birds.
We'll protect those birds with our lives.
That's right. With buckshot.
Mm-hmm.
That might kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, number 10 or number 2, top 10 fallouts from Trump tariff wins over China. Stocks swinging up and down harder than your Prozac popping ex-girlfriend's mood.
Oh man, if she's just a girlfriend,
crazy
if she's popping Prozacs, you can dump her. She doesn't have to be your girlfriend.
We all have the crazy ex-girlfriend, don't we? Don't we all?
These types of women exist, that's for sure. And my wife is not one of them, and I'm very happy and lucky and blessed about all that.
Is she in the chat right now?
Probably.
We love you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. And number 1. Let me do. What's the red thing? No, that's not the right thing. The Swedes at IKEA finally corner the market on shitty furniture.
Woo!
Woohoo, everybody!
That's IKEA's opportunity right here. Take over the shitty furniture market.
The Chinese had stolen it from them, This was theirs before, and they're going to get it back.
Yeah, you'll get it.
All right, that's the top 10.
Woo!
Liberty Tonight. Top 10 list.
3. Longer than I thought.
All right, folks, we are back. Thank you so much for joining us here on Liberty Tonight, where freedom never sleeps. I am King Libertarian, and with my co-host here, Brian Piotr. We're on the For Liberty Network, forlibertynetwork.com, forlibertyshop.com, where you can find our locals and our shop. If you go to forlibertyshop.com, go to the top right, search Liberty Tonight, and you will pull up our exclusive collection of memorabilia. Tonight, we are doing a contest. We're $10 into a $50 bet or dare. I'm going to do Man on the Street next weekend at the Gulf of America, at a beach at the Gulf of America. I'm going to do a classic Man on the Street type of interviews. And if we raise $50 tonight, I will, during that, drink methylene blue, stain my teeth and mouth blue, and do interviews in the public with that. So we are $10 down, 40 to go. Let's make that happen. If you're in the chat, hi, everybody. Fiery Waco, Bruiser, Barney. Let's see, Buck Nasty's in here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. And
and if you're a lurker, over on X, I see 775 views over there right now. Come on over, rumble.com/Liberty Tonight. Talk with us, interact with us. Tell us what you think about tariffs and all the other things. Tell us your crazy stories and ex-girlfriend stories. We love to hear them. Now,
absolutely.
King, moving into the real meat and potatoes of this evening, I think it's important that we go back to see what our good friend Chucky Schumer was doing a couple decades ago, talking about tariffs. What do you think? What do you think he's saying?
Could
it be that he's all for them?
I mean, Trump was just an old school Democrat back in the day, so probably. I mean, it is protectionist in the American worker. That's something that the Democrat Party and liberals used to stand up for.
I do think that if Trump had run as a Democrat and won, that all these people would be supporting him because they have no
100%.
spine. They have no spine.
Enough already.
Enough.
It says to the Chinese that their unfair trade policies have got to end.
Whoa.
It says to the Chinese, this is a shot across your bow. Reform, because if you don't, there are going to be dramatic consequences throughout the world, in our country, and in your country as well.
Wow.
The bottom line is very simple, Mr. President.
So
The
simple.
Chinese have enjoyed a huge trade surplus with the United States, as this chart shows.
These
Every
charts in
year,
Congress
it gets
always
larger
get me.
and larger and larger. Admittedly, some of that trade surplus is due to the rules of free trade. But much of that trade surplus is because the Chinese don't play fair.
Wow. And 20 years later, Kevin O'Leary says the same thing on CNN, and the Communist News Network, the beachhead of liberalism in this country, balk at him and taunt him for these crazy ideas.
That's got to be the only print shop in the entire world that's still making these charts for meetings.
Whoever has the closest print shop to the Congress has been killing it for years.
Yeah, he's seen everyone else in his industry go out of business across the entire country, and yet he is still thriving. It's probably government employee. Well, who am I kidding? The guy probably makes bank. He has his wife has an NGO making sign ink, and they've got a mansion and a boat.
They got USAID money to print these out. Bruiser says, "Holy 8-head." Yeah. And this was 20 years ago. This was 2005. Chuck Schumer is still there 20 years later.
To be fair, he's in a different house. He moved from the House to the Senate.
Oh, this is when he was a Congress.
He just became a senator. It's been only
either
a
way.
couple years.
Still, how many connected backroom second-handed dealings has this guy been a part of? How much has he enriched himself at the expense of us in so many different ways? How many rights has he voted away in his scummy little hands? 20 plus years of being there.
Hey, people make a big deal about politicians getting rich, but I just want to point out that they seem to sell for not a lot of money because they're not that rich. So say you're worth $100 million if you're Nancy Pelosi. Well, she's not just a regular congresswoman. She ran the entire House for many years. Entire dozens or even maybe hundreds of bills only moved forward because of her. Right? Why isn't she a billionaire?
Maybe that would just be too obvious.
How is it that she hasn't invested in a startup that then IPO'd for billions, right? There are ways that she could have set it up so that she's a billionaire, right? And she's like, oh, you wanna be able to drill here, you want to be able to trade there. I can make it happen.
More corrupt.
She should have been more corrupt. It's impressive how little money it takes to buy the head of the House of Representatives for the most powerful country on earth.
Well, being Nancy Pelosi and being the richest one's kind of like being the smartest kid in the dumb class.
It is.
So
you're not that smart.
So that's the best they got. She can only be a corrupt criminal so much to the capacity that she has the brain power to do so. Yeah, if Elon Musk was a senator from California, he would be a trillionaire by now.
Dude, that train would have been made, if he had been in charge of the train program, it would have been built under budget, and then he still would have grafted. He still could have made a fortune. He could have made more money than these people did. So they're the darkest light in in a row of light bulbs.
Yes.
Like actually, they're the candle when everyone else is like LEDs. Their
Oh.
their only superpower is their ability to change their minds about what they believe on flip of the switch.
Yeah, what is it? Only a politician could make the Sahara Desert run out of sand or something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
They're like, man, lying this much would really have me. I'd have a problem sleeping at night.
And speaking of worthless pieces of shit politicians that have never done anything in their lives,
Oh, I got that.
give me the biggest retard, the worst hypocrite, the most self-absorbed and self-serving person that thinks their shit don't stink. Who might that be?
I think the great turd himself, Turd Sanders.
So fight for 17. People in the chat, everyone watching the show. Why 17?
I think that they should just go for 170 or 1 million.
But yeah, but why stop at 17?
I want
What
everyone
is
to
this
make
arbitrary number that this communist has come up with?
$1 million an hour. It's the only fair living wage.
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
That'll magically. You know, the funny thing is, here's the real argument for the minimum wage in America, or here's the real argument for things in America, and that is, if we print enough and we export it all, then we cause Africa and Asia and Europe to suffer the inflation after, like, basically they get the money when it's worth less than we have it.
Right.
And we get their goods and they get paper. And if they want to fight us over it and say that this is bad, then we have aircraft carriers and nuclear bombs. That is ultimately the game. That is the game we're playing, guys.
Say something.
Colonel Sanders wanted the chicken in every pot. Bernie Sanders wants to pull that chicken out of the pot and let a government committee talk about how it should be divided up, and then it gets eaten by ants in the meantime, and no one gets it.
Yeah. Well, first you throw half the chicken away, just off the top.
Yeah.
That's just waste, right off the top.
Standard operating procedure.
Yeah, you basically leave it to rot, and then anything that's left goes to the politically connected in their family first, and then you end up in a breadline. But you know, Bernie Sanders, he's a great American. He honeymooned in communist Moscow.
Well, was it pretty?
It was pretty cold.
You know what? I actually bet that it was safe. Unlike Europe.
$17 an hour. That's the only fair wage here in America. Oh, there's no reason that a millionaire and a billionaire should exist and have all of these different deodorants. Why do we need 12 deodorants? There's billionaires and trillionaires.
Shut the hell up, you old dirty communist. I hate you. Sorry.
Hey, dirty old communists, why didn't you pass this when you had control of the House? It was like not that long ago. You guys never do what you say you're supposed to do. You wait until the Republicans get. The Republicans do the same thing, right? The Republicans talk about how we need to cut spending, and then they get in power, and then they pass this bill today that really doesn't cut any spending. So the Democrats aren't in power, so they're going to talk about all the things that they would do if they got in power, but then they won't do this.
That's right.
The only thing that they can agree on is that we need to fund everybody that's not America. That we need to fund Israel and Ukraine and Sudan and South Sudan and all the places that you don't know, like Djibouti.
I've been there twice.
America has a forward operating base in Djibouti.
Yeah. Camp Lemonnier.
Yeah. You've been there?
Twice, yes.
What's it like being deployed to Djibouti?
It's exactly what you would think.
It
is
hot.
It is the asshole of Africa. It is a dusty, dry, hemorrhoid encrusted booty hole of a country that is the most apparently a corrupt place I've ever been. The entire population, for the most part, is in dirt poor poverty. the president's wife imports a drug called cot in and subsidizes it and keeps the entire population high, and they roll around in $250,000 Rolls Royces and Maybachs and speed through the town, nearly hitting townsfolk. It really, the president, I look up to him for that. Like, I would love to ride my chariot through and blasting through anything that got in my way. Really impressive the way that he keeps control of his people. It's incredible.
Okay, well, fighting corruption here. Like Djibouti sounds like a nice place. We should send all of these people in DC who are new to claiming joblessness. We should send them to go dig ditches in Djibouti.
Yeah, they would love that. You can dig the ditch and then you can fill in all the potholes on the street because there's a bunch.
But this is serious. This is recent. Look at that bump. That's since Doge started in 2025.
Man.
Look
Ooh,
at all
I wonder what happened.
The new unemployed people in the DC metro.
What happened,
a win.
guys?
Woohoo!
Oh, man. And that coincides with a big housing sell-off too, right, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's putting their listing up for sale.
I've said we as a legion, we need to fill that vacuum, gobble up those DC homes for half off, get in there, get the swamp and push them out through positive pressure, pressurize them out. I'm not going to move to DC, but you guys can.
Yeah. Could you see it like 10, 15 years in the future? Every car in DC is a Tesla. Everybody driving, everybody's sitting in the back seat with a red cap on. That's
gonna be a glorious day.
Mm-hmm. No more immigrant Uber drivers. We don't need them. We just got the robo taxis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love DC. It's so much better than Kenya, Ethiopia, Brazil.
Have you flown in and out of Dulles at all? A lot?
I think I've always gone to Reagan, so no.
No. Yeah, Dulles. I was surprised by the amount of clearly immigrant people that were working there at the airport. It's like 80% are clearly first generation. It's interesting.
And DC voted like 90% for Kamala Harris because they knew their bread line was coming to an end. They got to go get a job.
It definitely did.
And they do. They're going to have to go get a job because those unemployment benefits won't last forever. You know what would be the funniest thing? Okay, Republicans in Congress, you actually control the city of the District of Columbia, which means you control all the rules inside of the District of Columbia, and you should end the unemployment insurance coverage for everybody inside the city of the District of Columbia. It'd be a third rail to cut it off nationally. I understand
Get them out of there quicker.
But make it so that nobody inside of DC can have unemployment insurance. That would be
really
hilarious. We've all, I actually have always wanted to get rid of unemployment insurance and all the other social benefits that Democrats put in place. And I understand that you Republicans are afraid to cut anything ever, but come on. Like, think of all the things you could do just inside of DC. And people would leave. People would, it would be incredible. You wouldn't have this underclass where you're not allowed to have guns in DC, by the way. For whatever stupid reason, the Second Amendment doesn't apply inside of DC because it's
the
it's
country's
special.
capital.
Make it so you can have guns and that you can't collect unemployment insurance and solve your homicide problems in DC.
Let's go.
But also, you
Flush them all out.
You got Keene problems. Freaking Democrat.
Out of my Tesla, a car I bought 6 years ago in the state of California because I'm concerned about climate change. Oh, but some amazing resistance fighter keyed the crap out of it, and that's gonna do it. Voting didn't work, but this defiling the car of a fellow liberal, we did it, guys. We got him. Today's our Liberation Day. Go celebrate. Just go celebrate. Woo!
Yeah.
Check it.
Keep at it.
What'd you
Keep at it,
learn,
baby?
that you can't join a club that literally will throw you under the bus on in a split second as the rules change. We
Yeah.
love you, man. You're
A
diverse.
decision you made
got
6 years ago.
you got curly hair. Oh, it came down from on high. We don't like curls anymore. Get them. Could be like that. You don't know.
Yeah,
not
if
safe.
Trump and Elon come out with a beautiful perm,
Mhm.
my head locks, they're so curly, they're so bouncy, they're so delicious. Everybody with a perm is now on the chopping block. You Nazi. Didn't you know
I did
that
not see that
Hitler
coming.
drove an electric vehicle? Did you not know that, Nazi scum?
I believe that he invented the VW.
There was one lady that said, I'm going to sell my Tesla and get a VW because
Mhm.
that's the moral thing to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hitler's car made in Mexico. That is the solution. Volkswagen stands in German for the people's car because they're socialist and they like to do socialist things. Were created so that regular everyday Germans could have a car, and that was the Beetle. Now they're the hardest hit by tariffs.
And energy crisis.
Yeah, well, you know what? The best thing the VW ever did was cheat on emissions. It made their cars.
Yes, I remember that.
It made their cars fantastic. Like they
'Cause you
had
could actually
50,
drive 'em.
yeah, 50 miles per hour or miles per gallon and really good performance. And you're like, this is incredible. Everybody wants this. Oh, they cheated. Come on, those
We
things
got our
were stupid.
showers back. So maybe we get our emission cars back. Who knows?
Yeah, well, take away all emissions on light duty diesel. Like it makes no sense. You can have a semi truck with basically no emissions most of the country, but you can't have a Jetta with no emissions. That's nuts.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
moving on. Get your facts straight.
So you're paying off.
Ah,
I don't think it's accurate to say that Ukraine was stealing half the money over there.
Well, their own president said they don't know where half of it is. Now, you all got to get your facts straight because everybody knows that. It's been reported in multiple news sources.
Congressman, as you know, most of the money that went to Ukraine was military aid, weapons that were manufactured and purchased in the United States.
So you're paying off the war pimps at the Pentagon to prolong this war. I mean, men are dying because of somebody's profit sheet is what you're saying, and that's what this country is about, and that is wrong, and that needs to stop, and it's stopping under Trump.
Wow. Wow.
this is Liberty Tonight. We are here to pimp you out with coffee and a Gulf of America shirt and maybe some methylene blue mouth for Man on the Street. But we will not pimp you out for bombs to go blow up people on the other side of the world. And that makes us morally superior than everybody in Congress that supports the war in whatever place, everywhere. And
Yeah.
like I love Donald Trump. I have no idea why he says nice things about Lindsey Graham. I have no idea. I hate Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, I know you watch this show, and I want you to know we hate you because you like
He's
war.
a little sugary sassy pants. I'm gonna go over to Syria and meet with ISIS and give them a bunch of money, and they're gonna overthrow the Assad dictatorship, and that's what democracy means.
So at least like John McCain was an angry old man, but John McCain had been in a prison camp in Vietnam, right? He had his spine surgically straightened and he couldn't turn his head, and he had been through some things, right? I really respect John McCain for having been through some things. He was kind of an evil man for loving war. Lindsey Graham is the John McCain, but without any of the going through the hard things. None of the nothing to respect as a man that I know that I'm aware of that he's done.
He's got soft, pillowy hands.
South Carolina, guys, what's
It's a strange place.
why? Guys, why? I don't know.
It's kind of like Camelot in Monty Python. You look at it from afar, and when you think about going, tis a silly place. Let's not go to Camelot. It's just over there. It's like in this weird like armpit of that part. Like it's not the elbow, it's not the shoulder. It's like tucked in there.
So I mean, I've been to Charleston on the first of the year where everybody goes and jumps in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's a big tradition. That's a big hoo-ha, super fun. But yeah, the support of Lindsey Graham, I can't get behind you guys. Paul Meadows. I did get a video of all the Republicans cutting their taxes. You guys want to see the secret undercover video of Republicans cutting taxes?
Let's see it.
Can they do it? Oh, did you see how much? Oh my gosh, that was so much. That was so much.
World record.
World record.
World record.
Never seen so much movement.
Oh my gosh.
Of our budget. That was crazy.
Look how much I cut. I'm so proud of myself. World record holder there, ladies and gentlemen.
World record.
See, you don't need to be trans to cheat. You just got to be a midget.
I don't know if I'm going to teach my kids the moral of that story, but I'm with you. But I'm Brian Piotr. For those of you who are new, our handles are at the bottom of the screen. This is the king of all libertarian stand. I'm working on the name. I don't know. We're gonna probably focus group it. Here's the focus group right here. You gotta come to rumble.com/libertytonight and tell us what's the right name of our country, us peoples. Just like Elon said, it's not the geography that makes a country, it's the people.
That's right.
And us people, we people, don't like to be told what to do. We like freedom. We like guns in America. But I'd love to know what the name of our country should be. Libertarian stand, Libertopia.
The kingdom of libertarianism. A little wordy. Yeah.
The House of Liberty.
What do we think, chat?
The House of Liberty.
House of Liberty. All right. We'll stew on it.
We're going to stew on it. Okay, I got another clip. Let's keep the show going.
Constitution, man. And I know George Washington didn't fight against goddamn British tyranny just so that nerdy nigga Adam Silver could slap me with a $75K fine, because the Second Amendment clearly states that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Everyone knows it's my fucking birthright to have a firearm. Don't matter if it's a Glock or a finger gun. John Morant just out here living his life in the exact way the founding fathers envisioned. I mean, it's not like I'm taking a knee like Colin Kaepernick or something. Anyways, God bless America.
Dude, this guy's fire.
That's right. Woo!
What sport does he play? Basketball. Oh man, I don't watch basketball.
That's very clear. I don't watch it either, but I can see his basketball jersey when I see one.
Is his name Carly Bond?
Jamorant? I don't know.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Jamorant. I'm a Jamorant fan. That is my number one NBA player. Anyone wants to gift me a jersey, make sure it is Jamorant's jersey.
Barney Styles said our country should be called Fuckofistan. I like that, Barney. That is the top three for sure. What else does everyone think? What should my kingdom be named? Fuckofistan. You gotta say it like that. Fuckofistan is number one right now. What do we think, folks?
The House of Liberty is still my thing. I like it.
What's going on with Gen Zers, man?
Oh, what is going on with Gen Zers?
What are they doing or not doing?
They're not protesting.
York City anti-Trump, anti-fascist protests, and I have one question. Where the fuck is Gen Z? These people are cheering, they're talking like it's just the 60s, it's just like the 60s, and they're having conversations and walking slowly. There's no fight here. There's no youth here. It's all 30-somethings and their children. And then seniors, and God bless everybody who showed up today, but I'm really fucking disappointed.
Good job, Gen Z.
Woo! There's light for you yet.
I think Gen Z is pretty based. Like, they're the people who had masks put on their face for 2 straight years of high school. And they got to just be over the BS, guys. Like, there's no way you wear a mask in school, have to do virtual e-learning that's just ridiculous, have to take the SATs and write these essays just for the privilege of paying 50 grand a year for a degree that doesn't matter. I think when you realize that everything's stacked against you, that you're like, I'm not doing the thing. I'm not following whatever I'm supposed to be doing from mainstream media. I'm going my own way.
Yeah, they bore the brunt of all this. They are children of people who had to live through the 2008 and 2001 and all these things that are happening now. So they were brought up in this wokeness. They were brought up in this culture. And yeah, I hope that they come and become adults and really help us push this crap out. Gen Z, millennials, let's team up to push this boomer crap out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and get your Gen Z friends, get your little brothers and sisters and cousins and nieces and nephews and anyone you know, tell them about Liberty Tonight on rumble.com. We are here at 10 p.m. to midnight. And if they want to be a grown-up and stay up late and watch a show, this is the show they got to stay up and watch. But not next week, because we're going to be off next week. But if you want to, I'm going to turn our videos off for this next video so that we can all enjoy it.
And then we got RFK coming up after that.
We're gonna go get RFK. I want you all to know that we're not gonna laugh at this video because we're good people, and I know that you won't laugh at this video because you are also good people, and that this video is just inappropriate, and that's my disclaimer.
Nice moves, we take a roast on the 47th chromosome. I didn't know they come in color options to dog syndrome. Lacking a chrome, but the chrome never lacking. Is this KSI? 50% XY tentacion. Broke a nerve twice. Oh me, oh me. Down from the streets, blood took stay down a little too seriously. Man's a shiny Pokemon, he said trip and drown. Pick a 47 cents, at least the moves ain't down. Head down, James Bro got the wrong DLC twice. Bro doubled down, finally I saw a black version before I died. But short money, tall life on hard mode. Must be the newest models, that's the leader of the show. Man down, repeat man down. Shut it.
Okay. Let me cut back to me. Man, that was horrible. And I know that all of us, you're good people, we wouldn't laugh at that. That's ridiculous. Whoever made that is obviously going to have to repent. Maybe do 40 laps, some push-ups, some burpees. I don't know what the rules are for dealing with that. But anyways, RFK Jr., Secretary of the Health and Human Services, is going to call in just a second. I want to ask him some questions about his deal with finding autism. Hey, Bobby, you there?
Hey, Brian, how are you tonight? Thank you for having me.
I'm feeling fantastic. I feel like 2025 is just getting off on the right foot. There's spring in the air. It's wonderful. How are you feel? How are you settling in?
Oh, I'm doing great here, Brian. I was able to fire a lot of people, and that felt really good. People who I litigated against, who, when we were in court together, let's just say there was off-record conversations that I now have revenge for. So, feeling pretty good, Brian.
Oh, that's fantastic. I saw earlier today that you said that you were going to get to the bottom of autism by September. How on earth are you going to figure stuff out that fast?
Brian, I don't want to reveal too much about it because I'm really building it up, the suspense. Cheryl, my wife, Cheryl, she gave me these acting lessons, so I already know what the cause is. I have known for a long time, but I don't think you're gonna guess, Brian. Can you guess what is causing all this autism?
Food dye, vaccines, deficient vitamins.
Okay. Way to steal my thunder, Brian. Thanks so much. That's exactly what I was gonna say. But you didn't hear it from me.
All right. So so you find out in September, and what's your plan? Are we gonna do directives from on high in the Health and Human Services that say no more dyes, no more vaccines, no more schedules? Like, what can you actually do from your office? Like, what requires Congress?
Well, Brian, I have full directive over those types of matters, but I guess Angela McArdle, she told me I'm a libertarian, and she told me to just go with it because we were promised a libertarian in the cabinet. So I'm doing her a solid there. But with that said, Brian, I have to at least act like a libertarian. So I will not take your food dye. I will not take your vaccines. But
so,
what I will
Bobby,
say is, I will say, as Secretary of Health and Human Services, if you ingest those products, I will label you as a dumbass.
Bobby, I do want you to take libertarianism seriously. And for that reason, I think it's imperative, if not mandatory, that you begin reading Man, Economy, and the State by Murray Rothbard. Do you have that book?
I have heard of Rothbard before, but sometimes.
Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to read that book before you die, but you got to get started now. Put in a solid 10 pages a day. It'll start to change your life, and you'll start to become a real libertarian, which there's a certification involved in being a real libertarian here, and it involves being a Republican now. It's gotten really weird. I'm sorry. I wish the rules weren't different, but I'm glad that you are a libertarian and that you're becoming one of us. And what is it that you think you can do to make America healthy again? I know that you can tell us that we're done with vaccines and food dyes, but then what? You still got 4 more years.
Well, Brian, I saw your show the other week, which you so courageously took a big shot of methylene blue. So that's my grand plan for September, is to ship methylene blue to every household.
Oh,
Put
wow.
it in your baby's formula. Put it in your sports drinks. Bathe in methylene blue if you have to. Dye all your clothes blue. Become a blue. Dabu dee da die. Dabu dee dabu die. Dabu dee da die. I'm blue.
Dude, that's a great idea. Now, I think that methylene blue would really help fix people's metabolism. You touched on baby formula. I know earlier you said that stuff's poison. What do you suggest moms do today? Like, I feel like their options are breastfeed or nothing. Is that really where we're at?
Well, Brian, there is breast milk from many other animals. Did you know you can milk a bear? I wouldn't know that firsthand. I'm just saying I heard it once. So it definitely had nothing to do with a bear's head in Central Park. Okay, wait. All right. Brian, I promise to tell the truth, and I will reveal to you tonight exclusively why I killed that cub.
To milk
I
it?
wanted his milk.
You're doing bear milk.
Yeah, yeah. It was the health kick at the time, Brian, and there was also a lot of cocaine involved. So, but yes, you
If
got
bears,
the world exclusive on that.
if bears are too much trouble, should you go with tigers?
Tiger milk, you that's the hard stuff, and that will take you down a road that I don't think many people want to go. I was at my lowest when I was on the tiger milk, but I am recovered. I am a healthy person now.
Okay. Well, Bobby, I'm very excited to see what you're going to do. I'm going to have you back on the show repeatedly in the future to find out, updates on your progress and your future plans. Is there anything else you want to say before you go?
I would just like to say to all of the unemployed HHA's employees now squatting in DC, get the hell out. I
Heck
sued your
yeah.
ass, and now I fired you. Get out.
Afuera. All right. Thank you, Bobby. We love you. We'll see you soon. King, man, I'm so excited for RFK Jr. I'm so glad we got a real libertarian in the cabinet.
Yeah, he was arbitrarily given a lifetime membership to fulfill a political need.
Oh no.
And
He paid.
I think he's a classic leftist libertarian, right?
He paid $1,000. That's all it costs to get a lifetime membership in the LP, and he did pay he put $1,000 in, so he gets the lifetime
rules is
card.
rules.
Rules
is rules.
is
Who knew it was
rules.
as simple as just paying $1,000 to become a true libertarian?
I knew. I could have told you.
Are you a lifetime member?
No.
Nah, me neither.
Dude, there was this awkward moment in 2022 where they said, we're going to close the doors and we're going to be here until we get $50,000. I forget. Like, we need 50 of you to come up here and give $1,000 for lifetime memberships. It felt like a weird church sermon.
Was that Reno?
Yeah, it was Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Isn't
were
it-
up front.
It kind of felt like a church sermon. I need y'all
I
to
don't remember
pray that you need to donate $500 today. Like, oh,
May God strike you down. Rothbard himself will come down.
Like, this is
and
getting a
bless
little
you for
weird.
this money.
Like I've
Live life and liberty.
I've never been to a fundraiser that was such a hard sell. Like, we're gonna leave selling here and just be like, you're doing this.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I'm not gonna
everyone's
try
got to
to-
have their cult, right, guys?
No.
I'm in a cult of radical individualism, along with everybody else that's a radical individual.
I'm in a cult of my family is super doing its own thing. And we're not inviting other people to come do stuff
I
with
think
us.
that should when you get into political power in Kentucky, you should change the state motto to that. Like, we're just doing our thing. Leave us alone. Live free or die, and we're doing our thing. Leave us alone.
Do your thing,
Kentucky.
Yeah, it can be on the bottom of the license plates. Oh, well, we're not gonna have license plates. Well, we're not gonna charge you to rent your car from the state, but we're gonna give you a little plate that says "Do your thing" to put on the back of your car in this spot.
And nothing against people in Kentucky, Kentuckians, Kentuckyites, Kentuckyons, but y'all, you're good. No one's gonna stop you. No one's gonna stop you,
Dude.
Do your thing.
We don't need license plates. That is a racket.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. We're over the halfway mark. We had RFK on just now talking about the cause of autism coming up. Quest Fanning's in the house. What's up? Fiery Waco, Barney Styles, everybody. We are doing a contest tonight. Next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, I will be doing our first Man on the Street episode. I will go to the Gulf of America to a beautiful white beach, and I will be asking people questions. And if we raise $40 more tonight, Rumble Rants or subscriptions or anything like that, I will, while I'm out there, chug methylene blue, stain my mouth, and try to interview people in that state. I will have, of course, I never take it off, my crown and my sunglasses, but I will be in beach attire other than that. And I will ask people questions with a blue mouth. All right, folks. We're going to segment into Conspiracy Corner here in a second, but we got B Not B coming up, Culture Couch, and if we get to it, American the Beautiful, and Liberal Freakouts. But you ready for Conspiracy Corner? I have still not made an intro for this, so I'm going to sing it like I do every week, because until I make an intro, I'm going to have to sing the intro. So this is Conspiracy Corner, where you put all the weird things. Corner right there, shove it in. It's weird, stay over there, but we're going to bring it out. It's Conspiracy Corner. Bring it out. Conspiracy Corner, yeah. There's the music.
Okay, so Space Force has seen aliens or something. No, I don't know.
All growth, all survival. Survival, energy. So energy, transportation, information, and manufacturing. These are the things that change humanity, that will change world power, and they are descending upon us in ways that are very unique. The technology is on the engineering benches today, but most Americans and most in Congress have not had time to really look deeply at what's going on here. But I've had the benefit of 33 years of studying and becoming friends with these engineers and these scientists. This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour. To deliver Wi-Fi from space, where you never need a cell tower to connect. To deliver energy from space, where you never have to plug your phone in and it trickle charges, and you can use that energy over time. It can be applied to cars, to houses. The technology of Edison and Tesla that we live with in our energy environment, our paradigm today, is expensive, it's dangerous, and it's wasteful. Plug it into the wall, but yet that's what we all do because we are used to paradigms. The power of space will change world power forever. And it doesn't have to be a big country to do it. It can be a small island country, let's say New Zealand. Because the technology, if optimized, can change world.
All right, this is Conspiracy Corner.
I don't believe this guy.
What are we thinking here?
He's claiming that the government can do things. That is beyond what I think is a reasonable thing to believe. I think that the cutting edge is SpaceX.
You think that's the leading edge, that the government has not surpassed them in any type of developmental technology whatsoever?
No. If they showed him something in a lab that said, look what we can do, they pulled a quick one on him. No, you can't do that.
Okay.
Honestly.
That's Brian's conspiracy theory.
I think the future is being broadcast to us live at every SpaceX launch. And there's just no way that the U.S. government has moved faster than SpaceX. SpaceX, which is iterating every few weeks, launching a new rocket, whereas there's 40 committees and 2 decades of meetings to do one launch for the U.S. government. So no.
Well, what about the substance of what he's saying? That he's saying he's being very vague and things like this, talking in circles. Something about space, something about moving human bodies within an hour, communications, wireless energy. You know, what do you think this technology is?
Could we make a rocket that moves people around the planet within an hour through space? Yes, I think it's possible. I'm not getting on one soon. I'm not signing up to doing that soon. When like 1 billion people have done it, I'll do this, right? But
yeah, it's just interesting because he says, you know, it could be a small country. You don't have to have this big military power, but it's going to change the dynamic. Quest Fanning, $5, 5. So we're at $25 raised, right?
Yeah.
Or no, $15.
$15. Thank you, Quest.
So 35 left for
Awesome.
me to drink methylene blue on the beach. Thank you so much.
So
for
you could do the entire interview all day long with blue teeth, blue mouth.
Let's do it. I want to see it. But yeah,
Now, when he says you can do
what is your
Wi-Fi,
conspiracy theory behind what he's saying?
when you can do Wi-Fi from space, that's like basically, yeah, we've proven this is possible. Starlink has been doing this for a while. Now, is that a huge jump to say, oh, we can eventually do this on our phones? No. Trickle charging your battery from space? No. No, that will not happen.
Why would a major 4-star something general from the government come out and say these things then?
Now, it could happen. Here's how it could happen is if your phone needed so little energy, like you made the phone so efficient that it needed basically no energy to do anything, then you could get it so that it's like the heat from your body or movement from your body was providing it enough energy, but you're not going to get that energy from space. You're basically saying, oh, well, microwave, we're going to microwave the whole planet. We're going to put nuclear reactors up in space to power microwaves to microwave the planet.
Well,
no, we're not going to do this.
We're already chemtrailing it, which we'll get to here in a second. But in the chat, what is something that could deliver people an hour across the globe, that can charge wirelessly, that can provide Wi-Fi, that can do all these amazing things, but apparently you don't need to be a developed country to do it. So it seems to be no established space program.
Now you can't. Hey, there is such a thing as wireless power, but wireless power fills the space. So if you direct it like a laser, you can conserve the power density across the distance. With like the natural noise in the laser that's going to lose, like, I forget what the word is for that, but you'll lose there's some efficiency loss. But if you like just broadcast it from an antenna, you can actually broadcast like inside of a room. There were speakers that were made that were wireless, and the home system for the sound broadcasted the enough energy in the sound wave to power the speakers. So like we're talking lots of power, short distance. You can do this. This is possible. Like that's theoretically possible. But when you're talking 100 kilometers up or 100 miles up,
seems unlikely.
Lots of power is needed, unless it's and even if it's a direct laser, lots of power is needed. But it's hard to do in a direct laser from space that's moving on to your point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
thanks, Quest Fanning, for the gifted subscription. What is that? What is that worth, Brian? Do you know? $5? I don't know.
$5.
$5. All right, so we're at $20. $30 left to see me with blue mouth and teeth interviewing people in public on the Gulf of America beach. Fire Waco, congratulations. Hey, Steffi, give old Osty Poo a big old smoochy woochy from us.
He's got to be up early. Austin Peterson is going to be on Fox and Friends at 5 a.m. Central tomorrow.
That's right. Hopefully he's getting his beauty rest.
We stay up late doing the show.
Eyes, do we?
Yeah, Austin's waking up at 3 to be on the show tomorrow. So you better wake up and watch him too, or at least TiVo it if you have TiVo or Fox. I don't think I have a way to watch Fox. Do they put that on the internet now?
No. You gotta have cable still.
I don't have a way to
we'll
watch
see
TV.
clips, I'm sure Steph is gonna record it from her phone or something, and it'll be all over their thing. So watch out for that. Yes, tomorrow morning, our own intrepid leader here will be on Fox and Friends in the morning. So if you have cable and you must be like 60 years old, go watch.
Yeah. How many people watching Fox and Friends are capable of getting on rumble.com/Wake Up America?
That's why you got to go on there. You got to reach those new people.
How many are capable of doing that? Well, if it's 5%,
3%.
If it's 5 people, that is a win. Those were 5 new best friends that we're going to have on the Wake Up America show. So I hope it's a big number.
Brian and I have been recognized by Elon Musk for being geniuses and being master economists. And now Austin Peterson goes on the biggest, apart from his own show, the biggest morning show in America. Fox and Friends. Let's go.
Oh, Wake Up America show is a way better show, but I'm happy that he's also going on
Yes.
Fox and Friends.
That's right.
So
That is
next
right.
up, Rep Luna. This lady's kind of nuts, but she's better than a lot of other people in Congress. On a curve of all the other people in Congress, I'll give her an A. Okay, let's say it that way. So the DOJ and the Epstein files.
I have tried very hard to obtain the Jeffrey Epstein files. I have been contacting the Department of Justice. I've even chased down the FBI, and I keep getting the same thing. We are reviewing documents. I don't believe that the process has been as
We're
good
never
as
gonna
the
see these
JFK
things.
rollout and the MLK and RFK rollout will be. And so I'm going to continue to put pressure on the DOJ to release that information.
It's not gonna
Look,
do anything.
There's bad people that haven't been charged for doing really horrible things with underage people. And
Yeah,
frankly,
has the
allegations of
DOJ given you any
trafficking.
timeline on that, Anna?
No.
Never
In fact,
happening.
I haven't really gotten any communication from the DOJ. The one
It's never happening because Israel blackmailed a bunch of world leaders. And I don't know why that's not a conspiracy. That's the truth. And the truth is not the people of Israel, who are wonderful people and I love them, but the government, the deep state that runs them, ran as a pedophile ring through Jeffrey Epstein. And
That's the conspiracy, folks.
that's the truth.
To the
Like,
couch.
that's
This
not
is what we're serving you.
that's not conspiracy at all. That's the conspiracy, like saying the Wuhan lab leaked COVID, right? Like, this is what happened. Now, eventually, in my lifetime, probably that will become what's widespread knowledge. But that's what happened, guys. I'm not even worried about it. Quest Fanning, $1 million. Woo! I'm bad with decimal points. Darn.
All right, we're at 30?
We're at 35. 30
or 35. I don't know. One
Oh,
of those
yeah.
two. All right.
30.
$50 total. I will have a blue mouth when I do Man on the Street, Man on the Beach at the Gulf of America. Beautiful.
You
Beautiful.
got to
Gulf
do
of
it.
America.
You got to do it. The big, beautiful blue mouth. Incredible.
Greenland's next.
You won't have seen anything
Beautiful.
like it,
Gotta
people.
have it.
You won't have anything. You'll never see anything like it. It's something you never heard of. Speaking of something you never heard of.
And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. So let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have. More powerful than anybody, not even close. So nobody's going to do that, but I think that if that's what you're referring to, maybe it's not. But just
Do you believe him?
What is it, Brian?
Do you believe him?
What's the conspiracy, guys? What is these super powerful weapons that the United States has that no one could even think of? What is it?
We've had them for a long time. It's nuclear bombs. I don't even think it's worth believing that they've gone and built anything more powerful. Like, when you build nuclear bombs that are a certain scale, it's just not useful to make. Like, you can make them better or faster or whatever, but it's like the world ends, so who cares?
Huh. Okay.
Like,
okay.
so you can invent.
Brian thinks it's just better nukes.
If you build really cool rockets that are just kinetic devices, like, how is that worse than nukes? Okay, so now
So
we
you're
now we
saying
can
like hypersonic, kinetic missiles that they have no payload. They're just going so fast.
all of those
that
things
it's like
are
a nuke
all
going off.
of those things are just being fancy for the sake of being fancy.
Well, we have no fallout, so there's that.
It's like filling in like the dumb bombs, end of the world. There's like this gap in the middle. It's just filling in the middle.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. If it's not hypersonic missiles, kinetic weapons, maybe he's referring to rods from God. You know, the tungsten rods that are in space that they just drop out and it just comes down from space. But that's been out there a long time. Project Blue Beam, these fake outs and things like that. Chemical weapons, nuclear weapons, lasers. Like, what if it's just something like there's a whole nother category of death and destruction that, you know, before the nuclear weapon, no one could ever conceive of it. What if they've gotten that together?
You know, it'd be cool. Here's the realm that would actually shock me of, like, deatomizers, like you're the like from space, like teleportation for Star Trek, like the guy's gone.
Maybe that's the 1 hour thing. It takes an hour to rematerialize you.
King Quest Fanning says King with the blue teeth was kind of cool. Okay, man.
All right.
I'd say that is very, very close. Okay, if I'm adding up, it's $40.
We're at 40. I think.
Good work.
40,
okay, who's
right?
going to come in with the rest that's not Quest Fanning? I appreciate everybody here who's watching. I'm Brian Piotr. Come follow me on X, King Libertarian. We do this show every Thursday night, 10 p.m. to midnight, except next week because I am moving to Kentucky. So don't tune in next week. Go watch one of our old shows or go do something with other people because I'm moving to Kentucky. But yeah, this is Liberty Tonight, where freedom never sleeps. And if you have problems sleeping and wake up early in the morning and have to go to work like me, I would like to be your drug dealer. And that involves buying coffee, which we have picked up 2 new subscriptions. Thank you if you're in the chat watching it and you subscribed. We picked up 2 new subscriptions for the Liberty Tonight barrel-aged coffee, 12 ounce. People love those. It's number 1. It's the best, most supported. It was Brian last time, Quest Fan, and yes, it was. And if you weren't here for the story, don't take a ton of methylene blue right before you go to sleep. I don't know if the experience was unique to me or if you would have the same thing, but I woke up a couple hours later wide awake, and then that was it for me sleep for the rest of the night for me. So it was like 3:45 or 4 in the morning, and I was now awake, like after going to bed at 1. So I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing all this methylene blue during the show at midnight, but it's actually, I've enjoyed taking it on a daily basis, and people have enjoyed getting our mugs, our whiskey glasses. I hope we never have to get rid of these whiskey glasses. It's way too expensive to ship glass. That's why they're $30. And then Liberty Tonight's Rebel Roast is our second option for those who are less adventurous than the whiskey flavored, which, hey, this is pretty cool coffee to drink, whiskey barrel aged coffee. But if you're more of a standard black normie, I've enjoyed lots of black coffee in my life. You know, my first boss, an old Air Force vet guy, he'd never washed his coffee cup. He poured coffee in it, drank it, poured it out in the sink, set it down, use it tomorrow. Never got sick. This guy never got sick. And the whole time I knew him.
You and knowing people who don't wash things they cook food in.
I have
the Chinese roommates.
I've been in engineering most of my life. Most of my life has been around men, right? So I get to see the whole spectrum. And I gotta say, he never got sick ever, and he never washed his coffee cup. So those things are probably connected, and probably this is health advice I'm giving you that you should follow because I'm a man on the internet telling you don't wash your coffee cups if you don't want to get sick. But also there's toxins in coffee and stuff. So
it's got probiotics that just build up around the rim over time. All those flecks of lip skin and dust and
that's weakness leaving the body.
Yes.
You know, something that's not a conspiracy that we throw in conspiracy corner. They made a thing. People made a thing. And there's a whole Joe Rogan podcast with the guys who did this. Dire wolves were these wolves that were extinct in the northern Arctic. And they've found the DNA and remade these things. This is...
It's pretty adorable. So they've resurrected, well, I guess technically, they took genes out of direwolf remains and then genetically engineered them into these. So it's not an actually clone of an actual direwolf, but it's as close as we're going to get. The reason I put it in the conspiracy corner is because if they can do this, what are they already doing and have been doing for a long time? Like, for instance, there's supposedly spiders that their silk can make body armor. There's monkeys that are glow in the dark. There's all of these animal human hybrids where you have something that's 90% human and you use it for their organs, but technically because it's 5% cow, 5% pig, it's not a human.
During the interview with Joe Rogan, he said that they're trying to grow mice in bags outside of a host so they don't need a host. This is the Matrix, man.
Yes.
They're gonna grow.
This is what they're telling you. So in the conspiracy corner, we have to think about, all right, if this is what they're revealing, and if this is what private individuals are allowed to do in a company, what do you think is brewing in a Wuhan lab type environment where they have no rules, or in China?
Dude, China is gonna grow humans. China's gonna.
They already are.
And you know what? They're not gonna need to have women. Here's the conspiracy: China's gonna be like, we will just grow men. Just have thousands and thousands and thousands or millions of bag-grown men.
What if they already have them, and as soon as a war breaks out, they just
pop
those open?
This is the clone army, man.
No, literally, Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars, Clone Wars. They still have to grow 18 years. So I'm pretty confident this doesn't exist yet. But
I wouldn't put it past them that they have waves of people that are staggered. 1 million people, we start them this year, and then another 1 million people the year behind. So you have this range of people that you can just like a Pringles can, just open that thing up, and you've genetically engineered them. You've done whatever to make them just these robot soldier fighters. And remember, everybody, that the clones then became stormtroopers for the Empire. So
yeah,
let's
dude,
not
they're
forget
gonna
the metaphors here that Star Trek is, or Star Trek.
like an evil country like China will select for strength, obedience, basically remove all the humanity and individuality out of a person, and then make 1 million of the exact same person, and be like, oh, this person had got sick or had a defect.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not going to do that here in America. Everybody who watches the Liberty Tonight show makes kids the old-fashioned way. And
Barney Style says, I want a mammoth steak before I die. Hell yeah. Utilize that technology for good. Give us the biggest, give me the biggest ribeye you've ever seen. That's what I want.
I want a mammoth steak. You know, I heard that elephant is very chewy and stringy and not very good. So
yeah, we went over that last week.
Yeah.
That was the vegan thing. You wouldn't eat an elephant steak, would you? Hell yeah, would you, dummy? What are you saying to me right now? I want trunk. I want a trunk steak. I want to eat that thing.
Okay, so moving on to the next thing. Nicole Shanahan has said, the biggest thing I'm hearing from whistleblowers is that there's a very real possibility that the biggest contributor to our atmospheric pollution, parts per million, isn't your fireplace or your car or anything else. It's the lingering effect of geoengineering and stratospheric projects. These programs appear to be pumping far more into our skies than anything that comes from modern fuel-injected engines or even today's coal-burning plants, which can run highly advanced filtration systems.
What do you think, Brian? You have been the chemtrail skeptic so far historically. What does Nicole Shanahan know that maybe you do not? Maybe it has something to do with what RFK came on the show earlier to hint at. What if RFK says it's not the vaccines, it's not the color, it is poison raining down from us onto us constantly from the skies? What say you, Brian?
I think that I still don't think chemtrails are an issue, but I think that could be something like HARP. You know what HARP is?
Yeah.
Then that it's a very large antenna array in Alaska that was used to direct energy to change the weather, to change the jet stream, to
Right.
affect the weather. I think that there are weather engineering and testing programs like that you can look up on Wikipedia and read about today that would have larger effects on our global temperature than the fact you drive your car.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, beef in your car is a tiny, tiny, almost unregisterable offense to the planet. So eat your beef, drive your truck, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of Conspiracy Corner, everybody.
What do you guys
Thank
think? You guys like Conspiracy Corner? I enjoy Conspiracy Corner, even if it's just you and me, King. We're talking about the things that we see in the world. You know, Alex Jones can't be the only one to corner this market to say this is what they're doing. They're here to poison you. They're here to...
We're the IKEA of conspiracy theories. He is China. We're taking over.
I want to be the America of conspiracy theories. Okay. Moving on. We have a wonderful little intermission show for you that we are not going to miss because it's incredible. I want everybody to learn the lesson from this guy.
Been in the news. Hi, I'm Tom Michaels, and I want to invite you to my new laundromat, Whites Only Laundry. We specialize in only washing your white laundry, so your linens, socks, and undershirts will look fresher than ever. By focusing just on white laundry, our prices are 25% lower than the other guys. Plus, get an extra 10% discount by singing our slogan at the register. Hope to see you soon. Hi, it's Tom again from the laundromat that's been in the news, and I really want to apologize. I definitely should have realized that the name Whites Only Laundry sounds racist, is racist, and that was not my intention at all. But we've changed the name and fixed the problem. Whites Only Laundry is now No Coloreds Laundry. It still gets across that we can't wash colored clothes without any of the racial connotations of whites only. Plus, to make up for our terrible mistake, come on in before Friday and you'll get yourself a free t-shirt. Just don't wash it here because it has all these colors on it. Hi, it's Tom again. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. Obviously, changing the name only made things worse, and neither one of those are appropriate names for a laundromat or any business or anything. But I'm gonna make things right. First, for the African American community, I've installed a special side entrance so that you'll know you're definitely welcome in my laundromat. Also, I've set aside separate but equally powerful washing machines exclusively for your use in the back of the laundromat. Although they still only wash white clothes. And this time, to ensure I don't upset or disrespect anyone, I'm naming it after myself. And since my sister just had a baby, everybody come on down to Uncle Tom's Laundromat. Remember, whites only, no coloreds, and blacks enter through a special side entrance.
Oh, man. Woo!
Hope you all learned a lesson from that.
I went and I quickly bathed in honey and gold as we took a little break there. And we are only $5 away from unlocking the super duper special challenge, which is for me to drink methylene blue and stain my mouth while I am interviewing people on a public beach at the Gulf of America next weekend. I'm going to do my first man on the street as a part of a segment of this show. I'm going to get some wacky people doing some wacky things, hopefully, and it'll be even wackier with blue dye. So $5, not from Quest Fanning. Anyone else, you can give it Quest Fanning. I don't care. But $5 more. We got 20 minutes left in the show. Let's see what's happening. Maybe somebody new that we've never heard of. Come in the chat. Give us some coin. Pay tribute to your king. But as we go here in the last 20 minutes of the show, we're going to go into Be or Not Be, and then we'll probably wrap up with Culture Couch. And then, of course, I will give out my Peasant of the Week. So are you ready for Culture Couch?
Let's do Be or Not to Be.
Or it's Be or Not to Be. Sorry, Be or Not to Be. Yes,
It's my favorite
all right.
part of the show.
So,
I want to get a perfect score.
Yes. So this is a participation sport. So everyone in the chat, you are to say, I'm going to read 4 headlines. They could all be true. They could all be false. It could be a mix of each. And only I know which is true and false. So it's your job to say Be or Not Be, true or not true, and we will reveal it as we go on. My goal is to trick you, and if I trick you, I will mock you. I will laugh at you. Ha ha ha! Your king has fooled you. All right. So first headline is this a true or false? Is it Be or Not to Be? New York City man sexually abuses dead body on subway train.
I bet that's been around. I bet you can find 50 of those across the last century.
So there's a dead body on a train in New York City to begin with, and then some guy was like, yeah, that's sexy. That's sexy, baby. Is this true or false? Be or not be?
You know what will never surprise me is a man doing something gross sexually. It seems like that is like unlimited. There's gross men out there.
Imagine coming across that and going, ooh, both of us have rigor mortis. All right. Barney Sal says not be true. S. Piotr, false. I assume that's another one of your family. Quest Fanning, eggplant, and we are Barney Styles $2. Blue meth is best.
That puts up 49.
Quest Fanning, my penis, something. That leaves $1.
That's up 49.
$1 for me to stain my mouth blue in public and talk to people on a beach for you for your entertainment. So we got 15 or so minutes left.
Hey,
I'm sure there's one person giving one. Oh, there we go.
Is this real or false?
Yes. All right. Quest Fanning eggplants. Thank you. We're gonna do it. All right. Let's finish this segment. Then we'll celebrate the plan.
You got to spend $50 on
true.
methylene blue to dye your.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yes, this actually happened. All right. Be or not be.
I mean, also
is
very
this next
sad.
headline true or false? Man under investigation offered to fix migrants' phones. Used app to deport them instead.
Oh my gosh.
Is this true or false? A man is under investigation for offering to fix migrants' phone, but use the app to deport them instead. That is this true or false?
I want to believe this is true. I want this to be true. I want this
Brian
to
saying
be
true.
real.
People in the chat. La 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 la. 3, 2, 1. Go go. True or false? This is false.
No.
This is false.
It could be true. You could be that guy.
Barney Styles.
Please go be that guy if you're watching this show. Make that happen.
Yes, I fooled you all. Ha ha ha. I am your king. All right. Number 3, true or false, be or not be. AOC caught flying first class to socialist rally against the rich. Is this true or false? Be or not be? Did AOC fly first class, $1,000+ ticket to rail against the rich, tax the rich, as her famous white dress says? Is she a hypocrite? Is this true?
Yeah, it's I think standard operating procedure to be a hypocrite. That's how Congress works.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you're true. S. Piotr, Barney Styles, true. Quest ain't true. Yes. This is true. I figured you guys would get it because this is a pretty big story this week. It happened like on Monday, Tuesday. So I was like, everyone has like a 3-day memory, so maybe everyone forgot. But you probably didn't. Quest Fanning broke his penis, and that is true. So it's 2-1. I am in the lead. All right. True or false? Most libertarian governor in U.S.
False.
Ironically signs sweeping anti-gun bill into law. You cannot answer this one, Brian.
Okay.
Is this true or false? True or false? Most libertarian governor in U.S. ironically signs sweeping anti-gun bill into law.
I believe that this is
that happened.
This is a leading question because he is not the most libertarian governor.
Is this true? Is this B? Barney Styles thinks it's false. What are we thinking here, folks? People from my former state, our former state, will know that this is true. This is Governor Jared Polis, who I believe will probably be in the Democrat primary, the 2028 election. I don't think he'll get the nomination, but I think he's definitely going to put his hat in the ring.
Okay, here's the deal. Today in Congress, they voted a voter bill that requires you to use proof of ID to vote and requires states to remove illegal immigrants from their registration. That, if enforced, will flip Colorado.
Yeah.
So
100%.
You have to use your ID to vote. That means you cannot mail in vote. The way that I understand that is for you to show your ID, it just does not work when there's no one there and it's just mail-in voting. So it should end mail-in voting. I don't know if between now and when that becomes law, things changes, because I'd say probably, but that would be the biggest deal. We're going to flip so many blue states if you cannot do mandatory mail-in voting.
That's absolutely correct.
I
Clean
hope
up your
that's
voter rolls. No more ballot stuffing. No more 1,000 mules. But yes, it's Jared Polis, the most libertarian governor in America, according to Reason Magazine, the most libertarian publication in the country, by Nick Gillespie, the king of libertarianism. He thinks.
Oh man, inside baseball is, if you're a libertarian, I want you to know that Reason and Cato are the baddies.
Yes.
If you don't want to spend the time to find out why, you don't have to. Just go with that's good enough information that Cato and Reason are the bad guys.
Yes.
And I mean that in being wrong when it matters is why they're the bad guys. Say COVID. Don't care that you're right about the effects on the Laffer curve of a movement of something of 1%. Don't care. Do not care at all. When it mattered and it came down to brass tacks, you were wrong. And so you're the bad guy. Sorry. Just the rest of that does not matter when it really mattered, when something really matters.
That's why we were mad at Oliver. He wore a rainbow mask and live streamed himself. I don't know if he actually did, but getting vaccines, bragged about it. Yeah, we're not about that. And speaking of libertarians being gay, Dave Smith and whoever this guy is, Douglas Murray, were discussing the bipolarity nature of libertarians.
When you say our own side, you mean the right wing broadly speaking?
Broadly speaking, and I'm sort of funny about libertarians. I'm never quite sure. I always think, I think libertarians are essentially the bisexuals of politics. They should just choose, Joe. They should choose. It's they just want everything at the buffet.
That's very funny. Well, I think we want some things. I don't know. Okay, that's a weird way to put it, but I get you.
I don't think that we're bisexuals. I think that we're the MAGA sexuals. We're super straight.
We did skip our intro. I went right into Culture Couch, but we have an intro for this. So this is Culture Couch.
We cut into Culture Couch. Let me transition. Best fan gave $1. Okay, we did Culture Couch. We did the intro.
I hope you liked it.
I'd say that guy, what's his name? I forget. The British dude.
David Murray or whatever.
Yeah, David Murray. I listened to him on Joe Rogan today on the drive home. He reminds me why we as Americans threw off the British.
Yeah, I don't know what his position. I know he was pro-Israel or something. I don't know. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before, but
he was pedantic and virtue signaling and haughty-taughty, and just, gosh, it made you want to pull out a gun and start fighting, because it's the worst kind of people. I'm a hypocrite and self-righteous, and you're the bad guy, and you're not an expert. And he asked him if Dave Smith had been to Israel, and when he said no, he's like, I cannot believe you would possibly have an opinion about this, and you've never even been. That was horrible. I'm like, oh my gosh,
if
this
Dave
guy's...
Smith hasn't gone, he definitely has a free ticket waiting for him because, if you have a certain amount of heritage that you can trace back, they will give you a free 1-week vacation to Israel to properly get you on their side. Quest Fanning, $1 each. Let it what? Quest Fanning. I'm not sure. The machine won't let me DJ the thing.
I wouldn't go to Israel at the moment. I don't want to die because I randomly went to Israel. It's one of the few, I guess, like, it's probably safer than Paris. But all things being equal, I'm going to Hawaii.
Yeah. Quest Fanning gifted 1 subscription to Barney Styles. Congratulations, Barney Styles. Thank you so much, Quest Fanning. And the Culture Couch, we curate a list of items that we can go through so we can analyze what's going on in our culture, not just ours, libertarianism, which we just went over is bisexual, but what's happening in the far left, in the virtue of victimhood, the T's and the Q's and the pluses. What's going on over there?
If you don't see it here, you'll have no idea what's happening. Right?
Right.
It is our job to go into the depths of the weird side of the internet and let you know what they're doing. So in case you're curious, like, what makes you the number one best, most the most minority of one? Like, how do you get to the top of the ticket? Here you go.
I am Filipino-Japanese, second generation. I'm a disabled trans man, but I'm also a Medicaid patient.
All right.
I'm also a person who uses food stamps. I'm also a person who has been through houselessness in this country.
Houselessness.
I'm also a person who has gone through substance use and addiction. And most of all, I am a patient of Planned Parenthood.
I had an abortion. Wow.
What?
All the things.
You have so much value because you're such a victim.
How is a trans man a patient of Planned Parenthood?
Because it's a person with a uterus. All right, Brian. When she was smoking crack, when she was houseless, she went to Planned Parenthood. They said, "I'll give you $500 to get that baby out of you." And then they pumped her full of testosterone and made her a trans man. And she went on Medicaid and she went on food stamps. And she's black and Filipino and Chinese and Native American. And there is nothing you could say as a white man that could ever match her value in this world. She should be getting $17 an hour, minimum wage.
It's her right as a trans man to earn a living wage in this country.
Do not.
Can we give her $17 an hour to work at a coal mine? I feel like I might fix some things. And probably already pays $17 an hour.
Wes Fanning, $1 rain. Make it rain. Thank you for completing that sentence for me. It was driving me crazy. All right, let's do one more, and then we'll talk about the methylene blue, and we'll do.
She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat, Grace.
They, them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
Good evening, Senator Sanders. Polling and turnout data indicate that men of all racial demographics are turning away from the Democratic Party.
We're back with Senator Bernie Sanders.
Wow.
I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat, Grace.
They, them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
You can't.
How do you out-victim a gay man? Be a they them. You're not a white liberal woman, a privileged woman. You're a they them. So you're better than Cooper. It's funny, isn't it? How it was just like, don't ask, don't tell is wrong. Gay marriage for every same-sex marriage. How far gay men have fallen in the victimhood hierarchy. It's crazy. Just like 20 years. That's it. You're done. You white gay men are no different than us. You have no more privilege than we do.
Civil rights attorney. I would not want her to be my attorney for any reason. That's one of those and you will get one of the court appointed attorneys to defend you, and that's the kind of lady you get. You walk in, like the cops did a no-knock raid on you, and you don't know why you're in there, and she walks in, and you're like, what happened? Can you tell me what happened? Excuse me, I just want you to know I'm a they, them, and I like to be addressed as jur. Like, I don't care.
I'd like you to address me as a cat because I am transitioning to a cat. Yeah. My pronouns are per meow. Yeah, it's all ridiculous. But we got a couple minutes left in the show. 4 minutes left. Thank you everyone for joining us. We had a big spurt there at the end after the half hour or the half of the show. Got up to about 25, 26 people live. We were jamming, we were rocking, we were rolling. We enjoyed everyone here. I'm going to go over two things. One, Methylene Blue. Since we got more than $50 in donations and subscriptions, thank you mostly to Quest Fanning, but everybody else that donated as well. I will go do a man on the street this next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend. I'm going to go to the Gulf of America. I'm going to go to a beautiful white beach, and I'm going to drink some Methylene Blue and talk to total strangers for you on camera and try to get them to say the funniest shit I can possibly. So thank you, everyone, for unlocking that bonus content, I guess you could say. And I am looking forward to doing that. And next week, maybe we'll re-air one of our more popular episodes from the past. Maybe that one we did like 4 weeks ago. But we will not do a live show because Brian Piotr is moving to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So we
an open invitation to anyone who wants to help a man move.
Yeah, if anyone's Mormon in the chat, you've just been invited, and you can't say no. We will have lemonade. We know you guys love that sugar. All right, we are Liberty Tonight, where freedom never sleeps. Before we do Pez of the Week, thank you so much for joining us. Go to forlibertyshop.com. Go to forlibertynetwork.com. Check out AP for Liberty, our head guy, his Wake Up America, and then Culturama, the lovely Daniela, Tuesdays and Thursdays right before this show, 7 to 9 Central. All right, Peasant of the Week. Peasant of the Week is going to be that beautiful, beautiful lady that broke the world record in bench press. She just destroyed everybody. There's never been somebody who's lifted more weight versus body weight than this woman has ever in her life. So congratulations, you beautiful small creature. You reached for the stars, and you were so much farther away from the stars than we are. It was just the valiant effort was there, and I felt it in my heart. So congratulations, you beautiful small person.
Thank you all for joining us. We will be back in 2 weeks at 10 p.m. on the 24th of April. I wish you a wonderful spring break. Please go be merry. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.